Hi, I'm Dan from the Rock Nerd Radio Show. In today's episode, well, the ground might quake a little bit.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Welcome back to the channel. If you couldn't tell, today we are doing a Which is Better. We are looking at two of the Transformer Quake figures, and here are the two most recent Quake figures in their vehicle form. We have the Titans Return one over here on the left, and we have the Legacy United one here on the right. There's not a whole ton to say getting into this. Of course, the first round is always about the paint and overall appearance of these figures. Now, both of these tank modes are quite different, as you can see. The Titans Return one was a repaint of the hardhead figure, so it is more of that like H-tank kind of view with a very futuristic cannon sticking off another gun that goes on top. But you can pop this off if you want to just have more of a tank, not necessarily a double-barreled tank. And there is a cockpit that the Titan Master, the Headmaster, can fit in. So yeah, this is the Titans Return one. The paint on it is pretty cool. It has the grays and the dark reds, maroon type color, and blue that Quake had originally in G1 underneath, kind of just like that, but who's looking at a tank from underneath? So there we go. When we look at our Legacy version of Quake, this is very much a tank. Granted, he has his two target masters hanging off. I can pop those off, and I'm going to show you that it is indeed more of an earth tank, if you will. There are a couple spots here that you can stick the target masters. I had them on the sides here, but there are these spots right here on top that you can stick them as well if you want. And I don't believe that the target masters get in the way of anything. You can kind of stick them both on, and there we go. Now you can have a quadruple barreled tank if you want. The tank turret on this does move a little bit. The barrel itself will lift when you move it. As you can see, like once I turn it, it tends to lift. Quake is getting excited. But yeah, that is how it looks in vehicle mode. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I'm just going to pop these off for a second. One thing I want to point out is that I do have an original G1 Quake with me, and again, it has the original Target Masters too. I've had this since I was a child, and the original one does look like a tank. It looks like an Earth tank. While the turret doesn't move, it definitely matches the style of my Legacy version. So what I'm going to do is transform both these guys now, so that you can see how they look in robot mode, because when I'm looking at Transformers, that tends to be the most important mode for me. Now, I will say these transformations are a little finicky, especially on the Legacy version. You would probably see in that speed up of the transformation that there were a couple finicky bits that I had to mess with. But overall, still a pretty neat transformation. And looking at the Legacy one first, he is holding the Target Masters, which are frigging huge. But just to take one out so you can see his hand real quick. It looks very cool and very reminiscent of the G1 Quake figure. What I kind of envision Quake looking like in my mind. We do have the tank tread legs. We have the nice black feet sticking out. We have that maroon red, the blue chest, gray arms, black hands. Like a lot of the tank detail still there. And what I really like is that the other tank turret, the main tank turret, just folds up onto his back, which is a little reminiscent of the original. You can also turn this down if you want and have the turret pointing down. I like to have it pointing up because it kind of gives you more of that view of, hey, this man is a tank man. He is somebody who turns into a tank. But I do like him. This is a serious remold, a partial, if you will, of the Skullgrin figure that came out. So very impressive how they managed to do a completely different transformation with that figure. Looking at the Titans Return one, it has all the kind of hits that I would expect Quake to have. It has the blue on the chest. It has, you know, the tank tread legs, black feet. The hands are gray on this one, not black, but not the end of the world. Even has that cool lightning bolt decal that the original one has as well, which is neat. And looking at the head, you know, this one is a bit of a small head, but it has Quake's kind of, you know, head, everything you would expect. Same with this one, maybe some attributes are a little more extended, you know, present in this one, especially kind of like the horns on the head crest. But it does look cool. This one, our Titans Return one, I do have his shoulder cannon flipped over his shoulder, but if I want it to be a little more G1 accurate, I can just tuck it there on his back, and while it's not centered, it definitely, you know, kind of emulates that tank on his back look. I'm going to bring back in my original Quake for a moment, just so we can compare all three. And, you know, look, neither of these are 100% what the original one was. Even the tank tread legs that they're both sporting, you know, they weren't fully there. This is still half a tank and some tank treads on his legs, just to show you. And then in terms of the arms, they're mostly gray, while just the hands are black, which the new one, again, just has a little bit of gray, and then the forearm is black. I think, however, the biggest thing that matches are the heads. I mean, if you look at the original compared to our legacy head, those heads are very, very, very close in terms of like just the way that the crown on the head kind of looks, the yellow on the face, and you know, the body designs. We kind of have these sunken in parts with the raised part in the middle. You know, with this one, it was definitely just redone, a remold of Hardhead. And because of that, you know, you have more of the Hardhead shape, not quite the Quake shape here. Do I think it's bad? No, I don't. But if I'm looking for something that is more accurate... Oh, and just to say, the you know, there's a turret on the back of the original one, which, again, I could flip down. I always had it flipping up. But just to say it, you know, just to think about which one's paint and overall appearance I like more, I'm going to go with our Legacy version. I think it matches the G1 version just a little bit more, and really is what I was hoping to get. My second round is about articulation, and then we're going to take the original one out of here because his articulation is this. The arms can go forward. Due to transformation, I guess they can kind of spread out to fire off those target masters, and the head can spin around. But yeah, our original one doesn't have articulation, so I'm not going to be measuring articulation with the original one or trying to make comparisons. Instead, we're going to start with our Titans Return one, and looking at the articulation on this figure, the head is on a ball joint because of the Titan Master. The little head here that would be, you know, the Titan Master is a ball joint. So when you plug it into the little socket here, the head is on a ball joint. It gets a little wiggle waggle to it. It can spin, and it can even go up and down. So some nice points there, some nice points of articulation there. At the body, we do not have anything, no movement at the torso. At the arms, because of transformation, the arms can move up and they can spin fully around. The midsection of the arm, the elbow, is going to be able to spin around. And we get some pretty nice bend in there. In terms of the hands, because of transformation, they can move in and out. And the wrist can spin. So that is some nice articulation there. At the legs... legs can go backwards that far. They can go forward that far. They can also do a full split, which is impressive. We do have rotation at the thigh, and there's a pretty tight rotation there. At the knees, we can go back and about 90 degrees. And nothing at the feet. The toes can move forward, but I don't think that's really going to help you pose the figure. That is mostly there for transformation. So not bad in terms of articulation. You know, Transformers, not always the most articulated things because of their shapes, but not bad. Looking at our Legacy Quake, the head's not on a ball joint. It just can spin around. So no left or right, no really up or down, just the spinning. In terms of the body, however, we do have midsection rotation, which is nice. You know, it kind of allows you to get into maybe some more dynamic poses with a character. In terms of the arms, they are going to spin around. Due to transformation, they actually go out maybe a little further than the other one did. We do have rotation there and deeper elbow bend than on the other one. In fact, if we take the Target Master out, we can see that it goes more than 90 degrees. The wrist, however, will not rotate. As you can see, I just broke it trying to rotate it. So don't try to rotate the wrist. That would be a bad idea. With the wrist snapped back in, you can also see that the hands do move up and down again from transformation. If you want to stick a Target Master in it and kind of have him pointing it down at something, you can. So, you know, some additional points of articulation there. At the legs, we are going to have kick forward and kick almost all the way back. Rotation there at the thigh. We have a little more than 90 degree bend at the knee. And then at the feet, we do have ankle rockers that this part it doesn't go fully, but you still do get more ankle rockers, or any ankle rockers, where the other one didn't have it. And you're not really going to be able to move the feet forward or back for transformation or for dynamic posing. So really, both of these guys have some nice articulation. I think in the end, our legacy version is going to take the articulation round. The midsection movement is nice. And I do like that the arms can move out maybe a little more than this one. Like I said, it only goes about that far. So I think that gives it just enough of an edge to win out my second round. My third round is about the accessories that these figures come with. And to start out, technically, a Titan Master's head is an accessory because it does come off and it does make for an additional robot. And you can do things with this Titan Master. Like I already showed you, it can ride in the main part of the vehicle. The other thing is the back cannon does come off, and you can flip this open, and now you have a little spot that a Target Master can ride. They were trying to kind of go big with the play pattern of the Titan Masters. I might have said Target Masters, but yeah, they were trying to go big on the play pattern of the Titan Masters, and you could incorporate these weapons as like additional riding vehicles. So it's a nice way to incorporate that. My biggest problem with any of the Titan Masters is that essentially if you lose their head, you have a headless figure. You know, I don't like to count the head as an accessory. It really is, but if you were to lose this, you just have this. Now, there were a lot of Titan Masters. All their heads were compatible with each other. So if you lost a head, you could always just find another one, I suppose, and stick it on. But yeah, that is the accessory. Those are some of the accessories he comes with. I do count the big gun as an accessory too. He also has this gray gun, which is the same as Hardhead's gun, just another gun done up in gray. They're neat for this figure. The original one being a double Target Master, I really wanted to see Target Masters with this. The nice thing is, he was Target Master compatible, the original G1's fit. So for the longest time, I actually had him holding the original G1 Target Masters. And just to show you what that looks like, if I bring back my original G1 Quake, you know, he can just hold a Target Master like that. Is a pretty good fit, and they don't look that bad in his hands. So if you have the Target Masters, if you buy them off eBay or something, you can make this work. But just judging by what he comes with out of the package, that's what you get. So we're going to move this Quake back here. We'll move our G1 Quake back here, and we'll bring in the Legacy Quake. Now, Legacy Quake comes with these two Target Masters, and before anybody says it, it's been bothering me that I haven't pointed it out this whole video. Yes, he does have the correct Target Masters, but this one, which is traditionally done up all in black, is done in blue on the back. So the color doesn't quite match the original G1 version, but the idea is there. We have this Target Master, gun folds up just like a G1 Target Master. Maybe a little on the larger side when compared to a Target Master or G1 Target Master, but same thing, gun folds up on the other one, and we have our Target Masters. And they match very closely to the G1 versions. Let me just get them out so I can compare. Here are these two next to each other, and the hints of purple. And this honestly looks blue coming across camera, but in person, it's definitely purple. The colors do match very well with those purple and orange highlights, even like the I don't know, missile launchers that are next to the character's head. So the purple one matches. Let me get the other one, and I probably should remember the names of the Target Masters. I just constantly forget them. Here is the second Target Master together. And you can see those colors match really, really well. Do the inclusion of the original of Target Masters necessarily make for better accessories? I think it depends on what you like your robots to have. For this character, because he is a double Target Master originally in the toys, I do think it makes a big difference. You know, I want things that are going to be reminiscent to what they actually were in G1. I'm open to the idea of new weapons and stuff, but I really do like it when they, you know, are matching to what maybe I grew up having. So because of that, because our Legacy version comes with the Target Masters, he's winning out on round 3. Looking like they're about to try to make each other's day, let's talk about the 4th round for this version of Which Is Better and how much the two Quakes go for. What is their price and overall availability? The Titans Return Quake, which you see on the left, goes for anywhere between $10 to $35 on the aftermarket. That is not factoring in shipping. That is not factoring in new in the package. Lower side, gonna be loose, maybe without a head. Higher side, maybe in package, fully complete. You're taking a gamble as to what you're gonna get with that. If you can find one in the package, like I said, you're probably looking at about $35, but you're probably gonna have to pay shipping unless you're finding it new at a convention. Our new one, our Legacy one, I'm seeing on store shelves every now and then when I'm out at Targets and things, and he goes for $25. It does kind of bother me, just to say it, that a deluxe class Transformer sells for $25, but I understand inflation, things like that. With that said, I do have to give our price and availability round to our Legacy Quake right here, because honestly, like I said, he's probably going to be a little easier to find. You can probably get him on Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, things like that. You may have to pay shipping, unless you're a Prime member or something. But I think he's going to be the easier one to get your hands on at the moment. So he wins out for price and overall availability. My 5th and final round is about the display compatibility of these figures. Listen, I am not going to sit here and argue and say Quake is the most important Decepticon or something like that. He's definitely a late in the G1 line character. The only reason why I have the affinity that I have for him is because I had the G1 Quake, and I still do. You know, one of the things that I remember as a kid was that my brothers and I did not own a G1 Megatron who turned into, you know, his G1 pistol form. We had Quake, though, and I had Skullgrin, and I would alternate with Quake and Skullgrin kind of being the leaders of my Decepticons, because I thought a tank would be a good leader. You know, then I got eventually G2 Megatron, who was the tank Megatron. So, yeah, I just ended up having this, you know, really good connection, enjoyment of the character Quake, because he was so important to my Decepticon lineup. So because of that, when I'm thinking about what kind of Quake I want on my display, I want something that looks like the G1 version. That's not to say the G1 version might not still be on my display, but if I'm getting an updated new version of the character, I want something that's going to emulate it. And that really comes with the Legacy version. He has the G1 Target Masters. The tank mode looks just like, or very similar to the original tank mode, and the robot mode matches a little more closely than a hardhead repaint. So with that in mind, this Quake, the Legacy version, is taking round 5 on this version of Which Is Better. So blowing away the competition in a clean sweep, our Legacy United version of Quake wins out on this version of Which Is Better. Listen, I don't think the Titans Return one is a bad figure, but I don't think it can stand up to the Legacy version. I think this is just a better representation of the character. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you have either one of these Quakes, and do you think either one is a better figure? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to leave a like or a comment, down below underneath this video, it goes a long way to help out the channel. You know what also helps? Subscribing. That goes a long, long way. So I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. You can also check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast on your preferred podcast platform. It is a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny. Together we discuss all different types of pop culture, whether it be comics, music, TV shows, movies, or collectibles. So check that out once again wherever you're going to get your podcasts. And you can also follow the Rock Nerd Radio Show on Instagram. That is the best place to interact with me. I would love it if you gave it a follow. So thanks for checking out this video. Until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome, and I'll see you around.
Come geek out with us